Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So in today's video, I thought I would let you know if I personally think that these popular booktok / booktube books are worth your time or not. Heavy emphasis on the if I think they're worth your time or not. This is my personal opinion, my personal taste, etc. So just thought I'd get that out of the way before we get into this. I did actually film a video just like this maybe a year ago, almost a year and a half ago, and I talked about other very popular books / series and if I think they're worth it or not. I will link it down below if you want to see my opinions on those books and if I think they're worth it. I think we should just get straight into it. This is in no particular order, it was just sort of the order of how I saw the books on my bookshelf, so we'll get straight into it. I am going to be starting off with Emily Henry, so I've read Beach Read and also Happy Place. Now I do think these books are worth your time, definitely, and I honestly think like reading them at the beach during summer would be such a vibe, like it would be so enjoyable. However, having said that, I personally don't enjoy Emily Henry's books. I don't like her writing style and her books feel fake deep to me, and I know that sounds really bad because I know so many people cry reading her books, and if you connected to them, I'm so happy for you. I wish I connected to them, I really do. I feel like people were saying to me that her books sort of read like a literary fiction. There's a lot of depth and like nuance to her characters. I personally didn't think so. It felt very, I don't know, fake deep, like I said. So even when the characters are going through heavy emotions, it just sort of seems like swept over, and it's like, you know, I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but I didn't really click with her writing, with her characters, with anything, but I definitely think I am in the minority here, so I can appreciate her books and how I think they would be really nice for so many people, especially if you're getting into reading and if you enjoy romance. But just for me personally, I think there's better books out there, in my opinion. Next, I wanted to talk about Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This got very popular on BookTok and BookTube, which is kind of surprising because when I read this book, it didn't seem like the kind of book that would blow up on the internet. I don't know why. Like, I was sort of surprised that it gained so much traction and momentum, but I don't really think this book is worth it, unfortunately. I don't know why. I'm starting this video off very negatively, but it was just so flat. At the beginning started off so promising. Honestly, in the first like 70-50 pages, I was thinking, I'm gonna give this possibly like a 4.5 star or something. I was loving it. But then the book just got really boring. It lost my interest. I had to switch to the audiobook just to kind of force myself to read it because I didn't want to DNF it. And yeah, like it was okay. It fell very flat for me. I would maybe say it's worth it for some people. This book is set in a more historical setting, sort of like a Regency setting, which I personally love. So I thought I was gonna really enjoy this a lot more, but I didn't, unfortunately. So I think even if you're someone that enjoys that setting, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. And then another very popular author on BookTok and BookTube and Bookstagram, anywhere in the bookish world really, is Ashley Poston. And she wrote The 7-Year Slip, a novel love story. She's recently released another book, I think it's called Sounds a Lot Like Love, and she's also the author of The Dead Romantics, and I think something else. I have only read 2 books by her. I read The 7-Year Slip and Novel Love Story. So as for The 7-Year Slip, 1000% yes, worth your time. Oh my god, even if you're not someone who really kind of enjoys that rom-com genre, which is typically me, this book was so good. It was so wonderful. I love the magical realism in this book. Also, if you are a foodie, you will appreciate this book so much because there's so much talk about food, and it just felt like there was so much more to the story than the romance. Like, it was a very well-rounded story. It was so wonderful. I loved the writing. As you can see, I've tabbed it. It was just like one of those books that I definitely will reread quite often. Like, this is a comfort book for me. Mind you, there's definitely like a couple sad things in this book, but it's still very comforting to me for some reason. Highly recommend, definitely worth your time. And then as for a novel love story, I'm so sad about this book. Like, I was looking forward to reading this book so much. It was right off the back of reading this one, and this was just not very good, in my opinion. It had all of the ingredients to be such a good book, but the way it was executed and the characters in this book, it all just felt so underwhelming for me, and I was really gutted about it. So yeah, I definitely want to read her other books just to see if I do love her writing or not, because so far, like, very different opinions. Really, really, really loved and really didn't enjoy. So I don't really know how I feel about her yet, so I'll have to read her other books and then I can really form my opinion on her. And then I did recently read my first Anna Huang book. I read The Striker, and this one's definitely popular, but I think her other series are way more popular, like the Twisted Love series and the something like King of Envy, King of Sloth, something like that. I really enjoyed this personally, so I'm gonna say this is definitely worth your time. It was a really enjoyable book. I loved that the sport in this book is football, like soccer, because I personally love that sport, so that definitely made the book more enjoyable for me. I say in my reading vlog where I read this book that I think if this was about like ice hockey or some other sport that I don't care about, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But nonetheless, it was a great time. I would still definitely recommend. Is it like my favorite book ever? No, not at all. But it was good. It was a fun time, a good palate cleanser book for me, and I don't think it needed to be this long, truthfully. I do think we could have cut like, it could have been like this, you know? Like, yeah, this is 600 pages for a romance. I think that's just crazy. Romances should be like 400 pages maximum. And then we have Abby Jimenez, and she has quite a few books out, I believe. But the two that I've read is Part of Your World and Yours Truly, and I still need to read the third book in this installment, which is Just for the Summer. As for these books and Abby, 100% worth your time. Abby gave me what Emily Henry didn't give me. This was like, yeah, I love these books. I love these books so much. This one, not as much. Like, I still really enjoyed this book, don't get me wrong. It was like a 3.5 to a 3.75. But Yours Truly, I loved it. This was a 5-star book for me. I didn't think I was gonna love this book so much. It had the perfect mix of romance and comedy and depth, and like, there was just so much going on. It was the perfect rom-com. Please, can we make this into a movie? Please. And then next up is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. 1000%. 1000% worth your time. This was so good. This was a fantastic romance. It does not read like other contemporary romance. It's not a rom-com. It's just like, there's a lot more going on. This book, the story, the writing, the depth of this book, and I love these characters so much, and I loved them being together, and this was honestly such a great read. I could not recommend it more. By the way, if you can't already tell, I'm not really talking about the synopsis of these books. I'm just letting you know if I like them or not. Because these books are so popular, you probably already know what they're about. And if you don't, you're gonna have to Google it. I'm so sorry. Normally I go very heavy into like the descriptions of books, and I do that when I do my wrap-ups and also when I do my reading vlogs. But for this kind of video, I'm not gonna be doing that. So please don't be mad at me. But yeah, just know I love this book so much. So much. I think this was a 4 to a 4.25 star for me. Really enjoyed it. Again, I would also love to see this as a movie. Oh my god, that would be so good. And then we have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I do actually have a reading vlog of me reading this book. If I remember to, I will link it down below. Because I was so shocked by how much I loved this book. This book really read to me like a Nicholas Sparks book. And I read a lot of Nicholas Sparks when I was very young, like, I don't know, 14, 15. And it really reminded me of that. Like, the story, the way it was playing out in my head, it was like a Nicholas Sparks movie. If you don't know, Nicholas Sparks is the author of The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, Safe Haven, Dear John. I'm forgetting so many more, but he writes books like that, like beautiful love stories where there's like some tragedy involved. And that's his specialty, and this book really read like that to me, and I didn't expect it to read in that way. It was so good. I loved the love story in this book. There was so much more going on in this book than I anticipated. And it's one of those books where when you read it, you're like, oh, that's why it's called what it is. You know, I loved it so much. I really hope I can remember to link that video down below, because honestly, my reactions reading this book, so many things that were happening in this book were stressing me out. But it was a great time, and I really enjoyed this book. I would actually love to reread this book, to be honest with you. It's one of those books. I don't know if I talked about Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren in my other video. I don't think so. So I'm going to talk about it now. I do believe this is a book worth your time. This is a very, very popular, like, OG BookTok, OG BookTube book. Like, it was blowing up. like, I guess the start of booktube, but I think it's still not booktube, booktok, but I think it's still very, very popular and relevant today. I actually loved so much about this book up until the very end of it. The end of it was very silly to me. There were so many things unanswered, and there were just so many things that were swept under the rug that really shouldn't have been. I definitely have some mixed feelings towards a lot of parts of this book, but I do really recommend it, and I did really enjoy it, especially the flashbacks. This is one of those books where it flips between past and present. The present day narrative I didn't love so much, but I loved when it would go back in time and it was like these two people, they've like, it's sort of like a childhood friends to lovers story, and when it goes back in the past and you get glimpses of their friendship sort of blossoming into like, you know, actual love at, I don't know, age 15 or something. It was so sweet and like so tender and just so cute. It was done so well. And something else I talked about in like a reading vlog ages ago when I read this is that Christina and Lauren was actually two people. So it's Christina and Lauren. And I realized that I like only one of their writing styles. I don't know who, but when you read this book, you'll see that there are some differences in writing styles, and I was able to pick up on that. And that's when I was like, is it two people writing this book? And alas, it was. So I wish only the person that I liked wrote this book, and I don't know who it is. If it's Christina or Lauren, I've got no idea. And now we're gonna get into some sad general fiction. So starting off, we've got Frederick Bachman, Beartown. I need to continue this series. This is a 3-book series, and for some reason I can't find the second or third book in any of my bookshops in New Zealand. I don't know what's up with that, and I also couldn't get access to it on Amazon. Anyway, that is beside the point. 1,000,000 times yes, worth your time. What a book. The writing in this book, 10 out of 10. This storytelling and the way he just weaves in all these different like timelines. This is one of those books where it follows lots of different people, and it all follows like around one big event that kind of happens, but you're getting multiple perspectives, and it sort of spans over a few days, and it's so intense, it's so emotionally charged. The way he was able to make me care about this tiny small town that's obsessed with ice hockey. And I mentioned earlier, I don't give a shit about ice hockey. Like, I just don't. I'm so sorry. It's not a sport we play here, so I've never cared for it, you know? I was invested. I started looking up ice hockey because I was like, wow. I was that interested in it purely because of this book. Purely. And the characters in this book, and they're so layered, and there's so much nuance to each character, and the way you feel for some of them as if they're real people. This is one of those books you read that like honestly leave your mouth hanging on the floor after finishing it, because wow. Yes, again, worth your time. Then we have The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. This is my only Kristen Hanna book I've ever read, and I'm gonna say yes, 1000% times worth your time. Like yes, it was so good. Again, very similar skills to Frederick Bachman, and also very similar incredible storytelling skills, very similar to one of my favorite authors, which is Khaled Hosseini. I don't know if you can see his books. Just one of those authors that can pull you into a story so well. Like when you're reading her books, or I mean, I've only read one book, so I don't know if I can speak about her other books, but when I was reading this book, I felt as though I like left my life and jumped and fell into this story. Like, I felt as if I was actually there in the book with these characters living the lives that they're living. So if you are someone who appreciates and loves fantastic storytelling, I could not recommend this book more. And even if you're not someone who is looking for that kind of story, I still definitely think you would enjoy this book. And then moving on to The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I did actually DNF this book. So that should probably tell you what you need to know about my personal opinion towards this book. I just really didn't like the writing style. It felt so juvenile to me. And I don't mind YA writing, but this was just like, I don't know. It's something that I think I would have really enjoyed when I was like 11 or 12. And which is strange again, because I do enjoy YA, but this, I don't know, it felt way too juvenile for me. A lot of people love it, so maybe give it a go if you want to, but for me personally, I was not a fan. And then we have God of Malice by Rena Kent. This is a very popular dark romance book, and I don't think this is worth your time. Like, there has to be better dark romance books out there. There just has to be. It's a book. I'll give it that. I will give it that. It is definitely a book. This book is so ridiculous to me. Like, I My dark romance reading vlog should be out by now. So all I'm going to say is watch it, because that will tell you more about how I feel towards it. And also I do read some direct quotes from this book in that video. And you know, you can judge for yourself if you think it's worth it or not. That's all I'm gonna say. So next I'm gonna be talking about some fantasy romance. I've just pulled some off my shelf, so it looks a little bit bare. I'm gonna start with Heavenly Bodies by Amani Aru. This is definitely worth your time. This is a beautiful fantasy romance. Just the visuals you get when reading this book, I love it so much. This is like a celestial fantasy romance, which is definitely very unique. I don't think I'd read a celestial fantasy romance before. So loved the setting and I loved the concept of it. It did definitely feel a little bit like, I don't know, you can't tell that it's her debut novel because the writing was so good and the story was so good. But there was definitely, you know, some parts of the book where I was left wondering, or I was like, this could have been better explained, or the characters could have been better fleshed out. Like, I personally felt some of the characters and the dynamics between them lacked some depth and just some more, you know, just some more going on. But besides that, it was a great book. It was a fun read. I really enjoyed it when I was reading it. I haven't really thought about it ever since, but while I was reading it, I loved it. So yeah, definitely worth your time. And then we have The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I personally, I'm gonna say this is not worth your time, just because I think there's so many better books out there. And when I say better books, I mean better writing. I personally really hated this writing. I thought it was really bad. I'm so sorry. And because of that, I didn't enjoy the story because the writing was making me cringe so bad. And just so much of it was just making me cringe, to be completely honest with you. So no, I don't think this is worth your time, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. Now, on to something that is worth your time. We have Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. She is thick. This is definitely a chunky book, but this was such a good book. Loved the magic system, loved Kingfisher, loved the story between them. I loved so much going on in this book. It was such a good fantasy romance. It did take me a little bit to actually get into it. At first, I definitely wasn't loving it, but I think once I hit like the 100 or 150 page mark, I was like, I'm in. I am in. Also, listen to the audiobook for this book, because it's one of those audiobooks where there's like a different voice for each character, and it was such an immersive reading experience. I did mostly read this book, but a lot of the times when I was like cleaning or whatever, I would flip on the audiobook, and so good. And then we have Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. This book was blowing up on the internet maybe like, I don't know, 6 months ago. I personally didn't enjoy it, and I feel really sad by it, and I think I didn't actually enjoy it because of my expectations towards it. This is a book that was, I don't know, it was made to seem so much more romantic and deep and beautiful than it was. It felt very shallow, very surface level, so much telling, not enough showing. One of those books where I was just a bit like, so underwhelmed. So incredibly underwhelmed, unfortunately. Mind you, it did have some beautiful writing and some beautiful quotes in this book. So look, I am gonna say it is worth your time, but it wasn't amazing. Like, it was a 3-star book for me, but yeah, you know, give it a go. Give it a go. Then we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. 100 times, yes, worth your time. Please read this when it is like spooky season, like when it's October or whenever it's winter for you, or autumn, because this book, the spooky, grim, gloomy vibes of this book, this is also a book that has like trials and tournaments. It's so fast paced, so bingeable. Like, it's one of those books where you could probably finish it in a day if you don't have anything else on, because I was not bored for even like one moment in this book. It just kept me on the edge of my seat. I was so immersed in this story. I loved this book, loved everything about it, and I cannot wait to read the second book in the series. And yeah, please read it. Definitely worth your time. Also, the writing was actually really good. The writing was in third person. I personally love any writing in third person. And yeah, it was really well written. Next, I want to talk about The Infernal Devices, because this has been blowing up because Emmy reads. She has a huge influence in the BookTok and BookTube world, and she recently read this series. You guys have no idea how happy I am that she's read that series and absolutely fallen in love with it, as she should. It's one of the best series of all time. And she is now making it blow up because obviously she's loved it so much. People are starting to read it more. And it makes me so happy. This is a very popular series, mind you. It was so popular like 10-15 years ago on booktube. So sorry guys, I just had to take a phone call. Completely forgot what I was talking about. Like absolutely gone from my brain. Oh yeah, I think I was talking about how this series is like getting popular again. Of course, Cassandra Clare is always popular, but I feel like it's kind of coming back around, and it makes me so happy because I cannot express to you how amazing this series is. And watching Emmy and her reading vlog when she read the series, I felt like I was reading it again, and I was like, oh my god, oh yeah, like this is such a good series. And unfortunately, it is one of those series where I think may put you in a slump. Actually, after reading any Cassandra Clare, I sort of feel slumpy because I genuinely am like, how can any other author compare with the writing and just how amazing her characters are? And I just think she is that girl. Actually, to be fair, there is another author who I have found that may potentially be up there with Cassandra Clare. Actually, definitely is for me, and that is Tahira Mafi. I've only read the Woven Kingdom series, but her writing in her books, the first time since reading Cassandra Clare where I was like, oh my god, like, thank god I'm back in this beautiful world with amazing writing and amazing storytelling. But the only thing is, I think Cassandra Clare writes better characters. I just think Cassandra Clare writes the best characters in my opinion. I mean, I've only read 2 series by her, but those 2 series were like my favorite series ever. And the other series is the Last Hour series. That one is personally my favorite series, and I just haven't read anything like it yet. The found family in that series, the friendship, how layered each character is, how much they feel like real people. This video is going to turn into like a Cassandra Clare appreciation video because she's just so good. So yes, 1000% this is worth your time, 100 bajillion times percent. I think that wraps the video up. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and that you took some good points from this video. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye!